Hi guys, it's Cindy from Cindy's Art. Here is the face behind all of the videos that you have been tuning into, and I just want to thank you for subscribing to my channel, for being a part of my adventure and letting me be a part of your adventure. So 2 months ago I moved into a new house, and boy did I find out how important it is to find a whole new setup and kind of create my creative space. So that way I was comfortable being in the new. It has been very interesting. So I'm going to take you on a quick little journey of my office setup and the window that I look out of. So I'm going to flip this around in a second. I'm going to show you what I get to see every day. Okay, there is a quick little picture of my backyard, and you can see fall is here. And I have got this incredible yard where I get ducks every day, hummingbirds, frogs. That is a koi pond out there. And I have a lot of critters who come and visit, and I can't wait to see what the snow looks like when it's falling. So that's the outside. Now let's take a look on the inside. And I'm going to do one view right here. This office is something I would have dreamed of. Okay, so now I'm going to take you on a quick tour of my office and how I found some economical ways to create a space that it's enjoyable, it's relaxing, it's very simple, it's very clean, that I feel like I can think if it's organized well. So I'll show you what I got. Tell me if you got any ideas that are better than what I have. And I'd love to hear how you have set your office up as well, if you have an office or your art room. Okay, I'm going to flip this around. All right, so you saw my office window, and then I just have a very easy setup here. I do coaching, so I have to have a place where it's comfortable and I can switch hats from artwork into coaching. So I had to find a place to hide my artwork, and don't you know, the closet is a great way to hide my art stuff. So some of the creative ways that I found to store art materials are, one, inside of this hanging. It's a Velcro hanger that's at the top there. It's from IKEA. Probably was about $8, and I use this to put a lot of my art supplies. I've got some basic stuff in here, papers, blank papers, and I've got a few pieces of artwork that I've just finished tucked in here. My Brusho by Colorcraft, that's powdered watercolor. This is all kept very light, nothing too heavy. This is a plastic bin that you would use for inside of a drawer. I got it at IKEA. And in here I've got some watercolor compound, modeling paste, crackling paste, just supplies that I can use and tuck in there. And then in this shelf I've got some plastic trays, and I put everything in plastic because I don't want the dust to get into it. I've made the mistake of dust getting in. Another IKEA box, it's inexpensive. And in here I've got some of the stencils that I use. I actually will create textures using stencils and modeling paste when I work. Pencils, this is just a little pencil box, and then this has got some extra storage for supplies. So this other thing that I did was I found a shoe hanger that you would hang up in your closet for your shoes, and this one, it has these hooks, so I put it on top of this rack here, and up here I normally have all of my paintbrushes, and then these are painting tools. This is a screen that I use for splattering and making sand, of all things. Then I've got a couple rows of paints, and in every one of these I have taken my paint tubes, organize them by color and number, put them in there, so when I need to get tubes out for painting, it's really easy for me to see right through the bag and for me to see what color I'm grabbing and the number. And it's easy for me to store and grab things out of. So I really like this idea. This is the finishing up of paints. And then paints you use things like ox gall, or let's see, what else have I got in here? This is just a watercolor medium. which is probably gum arabic, and I can use these different mediums for me to get effects with the waters, whether it means that they blend together really well or they create blooms on paper. The other thing that we use in watercolor are our masking pastes, and so I have all my masking fluids in there. I have my pens, black pens that I use for drawing with my art, and that's the Mincho set that I mentioned. I have a variety of tapes that I use. I've got some on my tray I'm going to show you in a minute. I've got white gel pens, and I have a variety of sizes and different types of white gel pens that I use. More spray type containers. Every spray container sprays differently. And at the bottom here, I wanted to show you this. This is a Clorox sponge, which you use in your house for cleaning. And I use that when I make a mistake on my color, and I can use that and rub the paint off. Lastly, down here, these are, what would you call these things? The contour, they're stuff for making contour. Like if I'm going to put modeling paste on a canvas and it's wet, I can take this, scrape it, and it's going to create texture. So I use a variety of these, and those are located at the bottom. And then the other thing, I mean, it's pretty simple, but here's my cling wrap, my saran wrap, which is another item I can use for texture. But look how much I have fit inside of this shoe container. Amazing, totally amazing. And then in the closet, I have another job. So I do coaching, and I have some of my resources in here. Here's all my papers. These papers are my arches, my watercolor papers, different sizes that I use, and sometimes I'll buy these huge things that have lots of paper in them, and then I can cut those down or I can make large paintings. So right above this, I have butcher trays. These I use for watercolor, then a porcelain. This is actually for oil painting. So that is it for the closet. When you look at this closet, in this area, I roll in my art tray, and there's my art tray. So this cart, we'll call it an art cart, I got from IKEA, and so I put things in here to organize this. This is actually a drawer organizer. It's the same one I have over in the cupboard over there. I organize this in a way that they're items that I would use almost every day when I paint. And when I'm done, I roll it back into the closet. I can shut the closet doors very easily, and then I can roll it back out. So if I have to do a day of writing and I don't want the clutter, then I'm gonna put this away. So just basically, I'm gonna just show you that I've got a few porcelain cups I use for some of my smaller paintings. I'll put a little bit of paint on those and use them. I've got like 4 or 5 different I have 6 different types of brushes up here. I started off with Golden Natural, then I added in some silver. These are Black Velvet Silver brand, and then I added in a squirrel brush. This is not real squirrel. Princess Neptune. Oh my God, quill brushes are amazing. I love them. Then I added in Princeton Aqua Elite. That's back there. Stiffer brush. They all have different. What would you say? They all have different strokes. Maybe we'll say pun intended. I have a little bit of salt, and then when I paint, I usually will use tape for me to tape down my picture, and I'll use this, or I'll use masking tape, guys. If I use masking fluid, I have to get that masking fluid off. I'm sure you'd like to see that without the rubber bands. But see how this has gotten a little gunky. When I use masking fluid, I use this to scrape it and to take it off. It lifts it off super easy, no problems whatsoever. And then over time, I have to clean this off. It's not a big deal. It's just part of it all, isn't it? So the next layer, like for example, if I am going to paint, I've got all my painting brushes and things that I would use with my water down below. I've got various papers that I already have open, and so I'm just pulling from here and pulling sheets out, and then I have a paper cutter if I need a different size. But this thing is a container Again, it's got a lid so I don't get dust on stuff, because it will ruin it over time. But I made color charts, and I wound up taking every tube of paint that I have. I did a color chart, and then I wound up separating all of these out into colors. So I've got yellow, orange, red, green, blue, blah, blah, blah in there. So on these, let's see if we can focus in. All right. Yeah, I wanted to focus in on that permanent yellow. Let's see if I can get it. It's not doing the greatest job on it, but for these little slips, what I like about them is I can pull them out, take a look, figure out what colors that I want to use. And then the other thing is that they'll have the letters, which are codes for things. Like this is TNH, and T is for transparent. It means that I could put that color on top of this. I'll see this clearly, but I'll see this clearly. This is not going to permanently change this color. N is non-staining. That means that if I made a mistake, I could actually take another brush and I could put water on top of this and start lifting it off. H, I don't remember. I'll tell you later. So this one is transparent and staining. I could put it on another color, but I could not lift this off with water. So it's important for us to know what kinds of paints we're using. And these are all Holbein colors. Well, no, I've got some American Journey in there as well. I like it too. I'm trying different paints so I can kind of share with you anything what I'm finding. For example, this watercolor pad is not good. It's not a good brand. I like it. It's cute, and as long as I don't use a lot of water and I'm going to paint a picture, and I'm going to do it one time. I'm not going to put layers and do a bunch of fancy stuff. Then I could use this. Strathmore has a postcard. The back of these are so cool. So I've made a few of these and then sent them out to friends just to say hello. So the Strathmore cards, they're fine. I don't recommend them. I'm not satisfied yet with them. It's something where once I do a painting, if I get water on top of it, it completely ruins it. So in here I have like my hot press paper. I've got some different sizes. This green is cold pressed. That's Arches cold pressed. So I'll have that. And then down here, I've got my handy dandy sponges. And this orange sponge right there, that's a sponge that costs $1. And I tore that baby up. See all this weird jagged stuff that I've got with it? There's my tree. That's my tree maker right there. Probably cost me, I don't know, 5 cents for this sponge. And I just chopped it up, and I work with it until I get something I really like. So I enjoy the different sponges for different textures, but I just want you to know the cheap things can work really well too. So don't break the bank on everything. Good paper is important. So I have a different number of palettes down here. I'm moving into just a basic plastic palette like this, and I'll put a few dollops for one painting. This is what I'll use for one painting and mix everything up and then clean it when I'm done. So these will stain over time. You can see a tiny bit of stain and that light green color. And so my trick is to take a Q-tip, dip it in bleach, and then use that tip and just scrub away at it and then rinse it off. And it gets rid of the color, guys. I don't mind using cheap tricks in order to tell you how to save money. So let's go back to my desk. This is gum arabic, and gum arabic is what I used. I cleaned all my brushes recently, and look at that beautiful point. This thing looks nice, and that's because I washed it and then I dipped it in gum arabic, squeezed off the extra, and I let it dry for 3 days. And that will give your brushes back to the shape that they belong in. When you buy a brush, it's kind of stiff. That's what this one is. It's a little bit stiff, and that's because it had gum arabic on it, and it helps shape the brush. So wash your brushes about once a month, and then you can use this. Now, gum arabic I use in my water, and it helps my paints blend together smoothly. So depending on what painting I'm using, there's times I'll use gum arabic for that. So I have a bunch of stuff that I use, including, look at this gorgeous salt jar, which was rosemary, and I filled it up with salt. And there's times where I want to create a texture, so that's another, just a little, you know, little things that I've put inside of my bin so I can work. So this desk is from, yes, you guessed it, IKEA. So this desk is nice and small. It's not too big. It fits the window here too, which I really like. I just want the sun. I don't want curtains, see? I do not want to put curtains up there. I want to enjoy it. Did you meet my assistant? That's my assistant, Woody. I need to probably get him some outfits, but I gotta have a joke while I'm working away. So on top of this desk, I have these plastic mats. I bought these. They're about $6 from IKEA. And they're great because if I am splattering paint and making a mess, see how messy this is? It's not going to ruin this, and it washes off really easy, and it protects my beautiful white table. So that's important to me. So I have this beautiful foam board. Nope, it was not from IKEA. I got this from Cheap Joe's. And this board I use for me to put my paper down, and then I'll use tape, and I'll tape my paper down. And one of the things I'll tell you I do is I wet the back of the paper, then I put it down, tape it down, then I wet the top part of it. And it stretches and prepares the paper nicely. So anyway, I will put my work a lot of times on here so I'm not making a mess on my desktop, but at least I've got something that protects it. There's other things you could do. You could probably buy glass and get some glass that's the size of the table. I'm not going into all of that. So look at this awesome light. Let's see if I can zoom this out. So I have a couple of these lights. Isn't that nice and blinding? These are the lights that I use when I need to have a daylight color. I need to not have yellow. Here's what it looks like. Look at all those shadows. All of those shadows are going to show up when I'm filming. So no, I won't do it. I get a couple lights so I can create the right light atmosphere when I'm painting. The other thing is that I have this, I like this, it has a USB outlet so I can plug my phone in there, and then I'm putting my phone up here and holding on to this while I paint. That's why you get to see my paintings like that, because I've attached it to this beautiful handy dandy, whatever it's called. And then I do have two of these lamps. There's times where I will turn these and I will focus them down or do whatever I need to. And when I'm painting, this laptop is not here, but I've got it there right now. So this is my office. And I love it that I could hide everything inside of that place. And that's my kitchen. And there you have it. So welcome to my office. Now you know who is speaking to you through the video, and I might actually be able to record some videos live, get a chance to talk with you. I would love to hear what you would like me to cover, what you would like me to teach on here on YouTube as far as the watercolor painting. I really like getting ideas from you. I'm playing with my phone thing. Anyway, but I would love to get ideas from you as far as what you would like me to paint. I painted for a long time and then I stopped just because work and life took another route. And then I got back into it the last 6 years, I believe. And I chose watercolor because it was the hardest one to do. I am very good at oil. Or acrylic, I have no idea, I forgot. Pencil drawing, I love too, but watercolors is what I'm staying on right now. And I love sharing my work with you, but I also love to hear from you too. And I really appreciate all of you who have subscribed to my channel and who have become a part of my community. And you've also let me have a look in at your pages and your community. So I just want to thank you for that. And this is it, I guess, for the hey, I found my new office, it's working out, and here's what I did video. So you guys be blessed, and we will talk again soon.